Yeah, welcome back to the channel. So today we are nearing the end of our Sewcialites 3 sew along. We are doing this block that is going to be super cute, and then after this one we only have 2 more. At this stage, I definitely start thinking about how I'm going to finish it, what kind of setting I'm going to use, what kind of quilting I'm going to do. Am I going to do hand quilting or machine quilting, or what kind of binding am I going to do? Those are all the things that I start to think about at this stage. So I have a fun surprise today. I'm going to show you my finished wild honey quilt. So the Fat Quarter Shop asked me to sew along for this one, and they provided me the fabric to make this wild honey quilt, and then after it's over I'm going to send it to them for them to show on their live stream at the end. So because of that I had to finish it a little bit early, so I thought I would go ahead and just show it to y'all the last couple of videos. So here it is. Are you ready? It's so cute, right? It's so tiny, and I'll show it up close in just a minute, but I just wanted to show you. So we are actually working on this block right here today, and then we have this one and this one yet to do. So these 2 that are coming up are going to be a little bit challenging, and I have to admit my corner one was just a tiny bit bigger than it should have been. So because of that, I ended up putting a tiny border around it so that I was able to square it up a little bit better. Since it's so small, we don't want the sides all wonky. And then I also did a flange binding. So it's not the traditional way of doing flange. I hate it that way. It seems complicated to me and I had a hard time with it. So I kind of came up with my own way. I basically just attach it the same way that you attach your vintage trim, Lori Holt's vintage trim. You just attach that part first, and then you put your binding over the top of it. So I am really excited to make this block. It kind of looks like tic-tac-toe, but kind of also like flowers with little stems. I think it's a very, very unique and super cool design. So let's go ahead and do the upper camera so you can see the quilt. I'm going to show you some of the quilting and the binding, and then we'll start making our block for today. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're doing this block today. It turned out really cute, and I think you're gonna love to make it. And then we're gonna have these 2 yet to make, and then we're gonna add the setting pieces. And so the Fat Quarter Shop will release the setting pieces after the end. So I did my quilt with this backing, and then this is the binding. So if you're using wild honey and you're following along, these are the backing and the binding. I used a pink solid for my flange piece, so it matched real well. I can link down below which solid I used. I also put my little label in the back. It's just a little fold over label that says thread graffiti on one side and handmade by me on the other side. And so I did all hand binding on the back side, and it's really cute. I'll show you the corners. So those are my binding corners. If you would like to do this same technique, I do have a video showing my flange technique as well as the hand binding, or you could do machine binding if you want to, but I wouldn't want to see the stitch on the front. So that's just my personal opinion though. And so on the quilting, I did a very small, dense, the little pieces in the middle are like less than 1/4 of an inch. The quilting is called Double Grid. It is a Julie Hurt design. I love her. She's a good friend of mine, and she designs absolutely fantastic pantographs. So if you want to check that out. Is designed by Jackie MacDonald of Sweetfire Road. Very, very cute block. I'm really excited to make it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our 2 flowers. And so I have decided to do my C's. So I'm going to make a yellow flower and a pink flower. So my C's and my D's are the pieces that we're going to need to make these blocks. And so they're going to go like this, with a little piece in the middle, which I did. A is a grunge. I just did the creamy grunge. So that's what these little flowers are going to look like. So we're just going to sew our middle pieces together, and then we're going to sew the C's to those. And then we're going to do the pink one. And then we're going to rotate and sew the other pink one. So now we are going to press these out towards the D's. And now we're going to sew our C's onto those middle sections. And then we're going to rotate, get our other C. Now we're going to trim those. And then we are going to press them up towards the C's. So now we have two super cute little squares. And we are going to sew our B pieces to the corners. And we're going to do the two opposite corners and then trim and do the other two corners. So I've mentioned in previous videos, I don't usually draw the lines on these tiny little pieces. I usually just use my seam tape. So that's what I'm going to do. So there we have one, the pink one. Now let's do the yellow one. Alright, and then I'm going to finger press to make sure that I got the corners how I want them and they look fine. So I'm going to go ahead and trim those off. I usually just eyeball when they're that tiny. Now I'm going to go ahead and press, and we're going to do the other corner. So our pieces don't overlap with these. So we could have just done it all in one swoop, but that's just not what I did. We're going to trim these off and then go press all of them, and then I'm going to leave them under the clapper so that they can work on getting nice and flat. Okay, so I have those pieces sitting under the clapper. Now let's move on to our next pieces, which are the D's, which are the E's and the A's. So I chose these little teal colored ones for my E's. So I have 4 of those and 4 of these, and they are going to go like that. So, and then we're going to put the background in between. And as I sew them, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave these two going sideways and these going up and down. Now let's go ahead and sew. So we're going to just flip the middle row over to the left one. And then we're just going to sew a big line. And now this last piece. Then I'm going to go ahead and press mine so they're not flopping all over the place. Okay, so I have them pressed, and now I'm just going to pick up my piece from over here as I go. Right, so now we can fold over our pieces and then trim. We'll trim these two apart since these are two different blocks. But we'll go ahead and leave those other ones connected and press. And so if you look at the pressing, we press this top one so that they're going in, this middle one so that they're going out, and this bottom one so that they're going in. That way when we fold it over, they easily nest, and then we can just do the stitch. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll just fold this one over. Let's see how I did. That looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one under the clapper and then join these sections. So this section right here, I ended up with a little ripple on the bottom, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull those seams out and then line up then nest my corner a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and press. My rule is when I pick out threads, I always press it again. That looks much better. So if you have any spots on your little flower part that are sticking out kind of weird, you can just trim ever so slightly. Don't trim off too much, just basically little hairs. So now we'll take our little squares out from under the clapper and we will arrange them how we want to. So let's put that one there. Oh gosh, those are cute, y'all. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do these, this one like that. Go ahead and press mine open. So I pressed mine open and then I left it under the clapper. Now we're gonna do these. We'll press these open. Okay, how did I have it, y'all? Okay, we're gonna do it like that. And then we will go ahead and nest these two center seams. I'm gonna trim this one off because it is just a tiny bit bigger than my little flower. I always like to have my pieces that are being sewn together to both be straight so that when I'm joining them together it's easier to keep your 1/4 inch. So we will go ahead and pin this middle piece. And now let's check our work. Yes, looks really cute. All right, let's press. All right, so let's trim off just our little hairs here. And so these blocks, since I've already sewn my wild honey blocks into a quilt, these blocks we're going to turn into a bag, and I'm going to do that right at the end of our sew along here. So if you don't want to make your little blocks into the tiny little quilt, we can make it into a bag. To be honest, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that tiny little quilt, so I felt like the second one, I didn't want 2 tiny little quilts, so I think that I will get better use out of a small little handbag. So, okay, y'all, how did you like that one? I think this one might be my second favorite, along with our beautiful strawberry that we made. So cute, I love it. Okay, so next week is gonna be a really hard one. I'm just gonna be brutally honest, it's gonna be hard. There's a bazillion pieces in these little tiny 3-inch blocks. Designed by Lyda Rose. It's a beautiful block, but it is a lot of pieces. So if we look at it here in our wild honey quilt, it's this block right here, and there's fold over corners, there's flying geese, there's several flying geese, and then the little squares in the middle. So get ready for that one. I know we can do it. We just get prepared mentally. Whoa! So I will see you back next week. Make sure you comment and like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're gonna do with your blocks. Are you making a full quilt with it, or are you gonna make a bag with me, or are you gonna do something different? Comment down below and let me know what you're making. And I will see you next week. Thanks a lot for watching.